live. All right. We're live here. Hey guys, Matt here. I am here with second place finisher at the Las Vegas Challenge, Gannon Buhr. Gannon was another one of your kind of breakout events. Last year, you had the Waco and Preserve. This year, you had an amazing finish at Las Vegas. You were leading most of the tournament. It came down to a 4-hole playoff. What was it like to be on that big of stage, come down to the playoff, just be you two, all the eyes on you guys?
It was great. It's kind of weird because I've never been in that position before. Kind of in the lead the whole tournament and being in control. It was nice to have that feeling, and it was kind of odd, almost like I didn't belong. Because it's like, I kind of just had to prove myself that I can, finish and win an event out there. But having the fans there and everyone supporting me, it felt amazing.
Great. So this is season 4 of our stake battles. We actually are going to start out with 4 stakes. We usually only have 3. We have 4 stake seasonings that I actually bought down in Texas to get ready for the Texas swing. So this is going to be stake 1, stake 2, stake 3, and stake 4. So let's dive into stake 1. So if you guys haven't seen the stake battle before, what I'll do is I'll have guests on. We'll try different stakes. I've already confirmed with Paul Ulibarri this year. He said he'd be back on from last year. Bob Julio, maybe Paul Macbeth again. And we're going to try to get some touring players throughout the season. All right, we got disconnected somehow, so should be good. We started with stake 1. Did you already start?
I haven't had that yet.
All right. So last year you did really well at Waco. Got on the lead card. What are your expectations for this Texas swing?
I think I'll be able to get top 10 at every event with Belton, Texas States, and Waco. I'm feeling pretty good going into Waco, coming off of a hot weekend at LVC, but looking at the forecast, day 1 looks terrible conditions, which I think could maybe benefit me, cold and windy, which we have here now with the whole off season. So I think I'll be prepared for that, and hopefully other players can, not do so well, that I'll be able to move up the ranks in that event starting off hot, and hopefully, do the same thing, keep my momentum up, and maybe even win that one.
Did you try stake 2?
No, I don't eat 100 miles an hour. Is that safe to eat?
Yeah. So one of the big things that stood out this weekend at Vegas was your putting. You were draining them from downtown. On coverage, they said, you said you only putt from 30 feet. Why do you only putt from 30 feet?
Mainly that's just because that's how far my basement goes. And it goes maybe 35, but that way I can actually kick my leg up after I putt. I've kind of always done that since I was ever had the basket in the basement. I think it's a perfect mix of being able to, have that muscle memory to translate anywhere inside the circle. I think if you can putt from 30 feet, you're not going to miss anything closer than that. There's no point in my opinion, putting if you're at, playing pro. There's no reason to putt anywhere closer than 30 feet, in my opinion, because those should be routine anyway. I think it also translates to 45 footers as well. But yeah, mainly just because it's as far as my basement goes, and it's just naturally what I've kind of done.
So when you're putting from 30 feet, do you just putt 200 times in a row, or do you have do you putt 10 times and take a break and then putt 10 times again? Is there a certain number you're trying to hit?
It kind of varies depending on how I'm feeling that day. Sometimes I'll do 1,000 putts, sometimes it'll be 50 putts. But usually I try to aim for around that 200 to 500 night or a day, just throughout the day. I have 100 PA3s, and I'll grab them all, put them in a stack, and hopefully go through it a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And that's kind of when I know I've done my putts for the day. But you know, I don't make it a job. It's just something I do for fun as well. You know, I'll go downstairs to have fun. I don't go downstairs to actually practice. So I think it's good that I still have that mentality, to where it's not a job for me. It's still, you know, I find it fun.
So you've been known for putting with these green KJ PA3s. When do you decide that it's time to switch out to a new putter?
Maybe when I have my own putter come out with my stamp on it, but for
I got
now,
one of those over there.
what?
There's one on the wall.
Oh, well, I have my new logo coming out.
Gotcha.
So one putter with my new logo on it, I might try to get those. I might putt with those when those come out. But the run that I putt with right now is my favorite run that's ever came out. It's one of the newer runs. Super tacky, but they have a good stiffness too. And I actually just wipe the stamp and then draw with Sharpie, and that's how I make the KJ logo. But the story is I had a KJ PA3 of that green. I only had one of them, and I wanted a matching one, so I had another one of that from that same run. So I wiped the stamp and then put the KJ on it. So I had two KJ PA3s, and I've kind of had that tradition for the last 6-8 months.
Sorry. So we tried stake 1, 2, and 3. Let's dive into stake 4 for the last stake. I've noticed this last week the internet's really been blown up with just lots of new fans, lots of publicity. Like, how are you handling all of this new fame and recognition and whatnot? And do you think it's a distraction, or do you think, you know, it's helping you?
It makes me happy to see all the messages. I mean, I probably got 400 just DMs and stuff, personal messages, text messages, and I'm doing my best to respond to every single one of them. I've got most of them. There's a couple left in Instagram I haven't responded to yet, but I mean, I love it, of course, but it's also kind of tough because I have school I'm behind on. I have to make that up, and then, you know, like, just who I am, I always want to, you know, I appreciate the people's time for putting in their work to send me a message, so I want to do my best to get back to them as soon as possible. And it's just tough with, you know, so many people, but I appreciate everyone's messages. But yeah, it's a little tough just with, like I said, just kind of getting overwhelmed with everything, but it's awesome to have that happen for me, and you know, I can do some good stuff through that.
Yeah, it was really fun to see. It was really fun to see our local community, you know, get behind you. I mean, it wasn't even just the Des Moines area, it was the entire state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people from Cedar Rapids, people from the Quad Cities, basically everybody in Iowa was, you know, obviously rooting for you. So we have the 4 stakes, stake 1, stake 2, stake 3, stake 4. We'll have you rank them and which were your favorites.
Mm-hmm. I think 1's got to be my favorite. I like salty stuff. I think that one was the most salty, so it also had some, not sweetness, but a little more than that to it. And then, so that's probably number 1. 2 is probably number 3. My third best is this one, and my least favorite was this one. This one just, I feel like it didn't have a ton of taste to it.
Yeah, it was definitely different than the other 3s. These were definitely salt and garlic and whatnot. This was kind of a reddish flavor. So we'll do the review of the steak seasonings. The first one is the usual ultimate steak and roast rub. If you guys haven't seen the videos before, this one's pretty much always the winner. By far my favorite steak seasoning. We still need to reach out to these guys. They're out of Peoria. And see if, I don't know, sponsor a video or something. So the first one is the ultimate steak and roast rub. Actually, it's hard to find this anymore. So they used to sell this at Shields here, and it's not there anymore. I go to the Quad Cities, the Hy-Vee at the Quad Cities to get them. The second one is the extra fancy Texas style steak seasoning.
Like extra garbage.
Extra. Yeah, so these 3 I bought all in Texas. I was down in the Austin area earlier this year, and I thought, you know, Texas is known for their barbecue. I don't know about their steaks. The third one is No, this is the third one. No, this is the third one. The third one is the HEB. So HEB is like their grocery store, their big grocery store down there. Original steak seasoning. So it's their grocery store steak seasoning. And then the last one is Adkins ranch style steak seasoning. So this was the first episode of season 4. We're trying out a couple new things this year. Still working out some hiccups with the microphones. We got some new lights. We are going to do some post-production stuff on YouTube this year, so be on the lookout for that on the brand new Titan Disc Golf YouTube page. And check out Gannon's Instagram, my Instagram, Titan Disc Golf's Instagram, and Facebook for all the latest steak battle. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you guys.
Time to feast.